Okay, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and the few Akwat who may be listening. This is your brother Batak Allah from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, and as you can see, the title to today's lesson is that there is no respect of persons. All right, and the inspiration, now at this particular time in the year, here in Chicago, we have a music festival called Lollapalooza. That's like, the city's famous for it. This is one of the things the city's famous for, Salakia. But people from all over the earth come to this festival to, let me get this together, Salakia. People all over the earth come to this festival every year. And, obviously, it's a music festival, so a lot of artists, athletes, people that be in movies, all type of shit, converge here in Chicago for this festival. All right, now the industry that I work in is a high-end restaurant industry. And then prior to that, I was in the nightclub and bar industry. And, the places where I work around this time of year is always a lot of so-called celebrities and all that type of shit that come to the restaurant because they're here for the weekend. It's an event from Thursday to Sunday. So, throughout pretty much the whole week that this event is taking place, these so-called celebrities are all around. And like I said, the places that I work at, tend to serve these people. All right, but while I was at work today, we had some dude come in. We don't know who these fucking people are for the most part. I mean, I know who John Jones is. I know who Floyd Mayweather is. People like that. But, all these new rappers and new singers and these influencers or whoever the fuck, I don't know these people, man. I know Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, people like that. But, it's an infinite number of these celebrities. And we don't give a fuck about them. Even the ones that we do know about, we don't give a fuck about them because we know that they're wicked. And we know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to fucking smoke their ass if they're a heathen and if they're a Jake and they don't repent, which is more than likely not going to happen, then the Lord's going to kill them. And we look at them as heathens because that's what 2/3 are to us, heathens. All right? But anyway, I don't want to just try to speed this up so we can get these scriptures. I don't want to rant too long, but like I said, we had some so-called celebrities come to the restaurant today, and the way that these people that I work with, that are actually part of the actual restaurant, because I just do security, but the actual workers for the restaurant, the managers, you could just see, the difference in how they was preparing for these so-called celebrities as opposed to how they would prepare for a regular person who's showing up, which in reality is going to spend the same amount of money, if not more, than these celebrities, because most of these celebrities get most of their shit for free anyway. All right, but you can see the spirit of respect the persons on these people, man, and it was really kind of vexing. But at the same time, we understand that these people are idolaters. Esau sets up these celebrities as idols for these people. So when they when they come around, these idiots worship them like they are not human beings, like everybody else. But we're going to get the precepts now. Salakia. This is Colossians 3:22. It says, servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as man pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing Yahweh. All right, so the Lord set up an order on this earth. And, although the earth is out of order, in this truth we have an order. And the Lord set that up too. And, Salakia, we are to abide by that order sincerely. We're not just supposed to be doing things with the mindset of trying to please this individual or that individual. We're supposed to be doing things with the mindset of that we're doing it for Yahweh Shai and for the Father Yahweh. All right. This is verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as Yahweh and not as to Salakia. Verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to Yahweh and not unto men. All right. So, like I said, you're going to treat the things that you're doing and the things that you're instructed to do by leadership and brothers that's over you, elders that's over you, as if you're doing it for Yahweh Shai, as if you're doing it for Yahweh. All right. It says, knowing that of Yahweh ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Hamashiach. All right, so we know that, if we do the things that are required of us in sincerity and in truth, if we serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to the best of our ability and make our body a living sacrifice, we know the Lord is going to deliver us and give us salvation. All right, and that's why we, when we're doing these things that we're doing, we know that there's a reward coming. We're not just doing it just to do it. All right, and that's what makes us want to do it all the better. All right, just give me 1 second because some people walking by. Salakia. All right, Salakia, that was my bad. People walking by, but we're going to read 24 again. It says, knowing that of Yahweh ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Hamashiach. All right, so guess what, man? The things that we're doing in this truth, making our body a living sacrifice, following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, because nobody can keep it 100% while we in this captivity and while we in this flesh. All right, being brotherly, all these things that are required of us to do, doing these lessons, going out, teaching on the highways and byways. We do this with intention because we know that the Lord has a reward for us if we endure to the end. All right, but here's the point, verse 25. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons. All right, now I read the first 3 verses just to give the balance to the situation, showing that if you do what you're supposed to do, if we do as the Lord commands us, then we'll receive a reward for that, a good reward. All right, but if you don't do what the Lord commands you to do and you're wicked, you're going to receive a harsh judgment for that. And the Lord don't give a fuck if you're a celebrity. The Lord don't give a fuck if you're a little kid. The Lord don't give a fuck if you're a woman. The Lord don't give a fuck if you're the president. The Lord don't give a fuck about none of that. All right, you're going to be held accountable for the things you do while you're on this earth. So the best thing to do for you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you speckled birds who look like the other nations, but patrilineal father line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The best thing for you to do is to repent and to do the things that the Lord said to do, man. All right, in truth and in sincerity. As far as you heathens, you're going to get destroyed. Fuck you. All right, and then you're going to get put in captivity. And then after you serve your 1,000 years of captivity, you will be allowed to go back to your allotted lands and pay tribute to the nation, the true Israelites. All right, to the kingdom of Yahushua. You're gonna pay tribute in perpetuity to the true Israelites, the kingdom of Yahushua. Lord willing, would be at that number. All right. And you Edomites, after your 1,000 years is up, you'll be destroyed and erased from the earth. This is Deuteronomy 1 and 16 and 17. All right, and I charged your judges at that time, saying, hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother and the stranger that is with him. All right, so at this particular time, Moses is explaining to the men that he set over, the people, the captains of 50, captains of 100, etc. He's explaining to those men that, their job is going to be to judge matters and that they are to judge righteously. And of course, if things can't be, figured out, then you move up to the next level and to the next level and to the next level. And if something is to the point where Moses needed to step in and handle it, then he would. All right. This is the next, and it's going to say that in this next verse. All right. But this is verse 17. Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is Yahweh's. And the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. All right. So, like we've been saying, the Lord does not deal with respect of persons. When you are set up to pass judgment against or on something or pass judgment on a matter, who is involved in the situation does not matter. It is not important. It doesn't matter if it's your favorite baseball player and he has a dispute with a homeless person. Guess what? You are supposed to judge that situation righteously and fairly, regardless of who's on either side of the situation. All right? It doesn't matter if the person is poor, if the person's rich, whatever. You're supposed to give a righteous judgment and do the right thing according to what the law of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai says, according to the matter. All right? But see, in this wicked society that Esau set up, this whole society is based on respect of persons. All right? Which is why I always say that even though these people talk about law and order, we actually live in a lawless society. Why is it a lawless society? Because if something is a law, it is upheld for everybody. There is no respect of persons when you're dealing with real law. All right? The law of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai does not make room for respect of persons. The situations are judged according to what the law says, and the verdict is given based off of that, based off of what happened, and then based off of what the law says to do after. All right? But in this kingdom, depending on who commits the infraction is going to depend on the punishment, or if any punishment is given at all. All right? An Edomite can do a crime, and a Jake can do the same crime, and the Edomite will receive a lighter judgment, or will not receive a judgment at all, will be allowed to go free. But if a Jake commits that same crime, they're going to get the jail dropped on top of their neck, and they're going to never be found ever again. They're going to get put in jail forever. All right? These people that rule the society, these elites, quote unquote, your Rockefellers, Rothschilds, even your low-level elites, like your Elon Musks, your Donald Trumps, all these people engage in narcotics traffic, human traffic, organ traffic, child traffic, and a various multitude of other extremely wicked things that this society deems as the lowest of the low. But none of them are ever even called into court for doing these things. Why? Because they're the ones that are in charge of the court system, and they don't hold themselves accountable, which is why this society is lawless. The people who are in power decide who's wrong and who's right, not the law. All right? But see, what they don't understand is that they can do that down here all they want to do. And the same thing with all you people, because it ain't just these Edomites that's doing it. When you're working on a job, these niggers be wicked, and they'll judge unrighteously at work or wherever, man. Any person that's in a position of power can pass judgment on something or somebody. And most of these people are passing unrighteous judgments and are, applying respect to persons to their judgment practices. But with the Lord, it's not going to work, man. The Lord is not dealing with respect to persons. You're going to be held accountable for everything you did, including your use of your application of respect to persons. That's wicked. You're not supposed to do that. All right? We're going to get to the next one. This is Nahum chapter 1 and verse 2. It says, Yahweh is jealous, and Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revengeth and is furious. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. All right, so guess what? The Lord is not all love. The Lord has enemies. The Lord has people that are going to get destroyed for being wicked and being against him. All right, chiefly you Edomites, chiefly you elites, but all you Edomites in general are all wicked and against the Lord. All right, especially you Amalekites. All right, and you 2/3 are also against the Lord, and the Lord's going to destroy you. You heathen nations, you are also against the Lord, and the Lord is going to destroy you. Those of you who are not destroyed, as far as heathens are concerned, will be put into slavery. After your slavery is over, if you're not an Edomite, you will be able to go back to the lands the Lord allotted for you to pay tribute in perpetuity. If you are an Edomite, after your 1,000 years is served, you will be eradicated from the earth. All right? Plain and simple. You 2/3, you will be destroyed on this side, and you will be born back into the kingdom as a child, and you will have to hang your head in shame in the kingdom for however long the Lord decides to put that spirit on you. All right. There is no respect of persons. I don't care if you dunking bad. Michael Jordan is not going to receive salvation because he's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is going to catch a nuke because he's wicked. All right. Unless he repents, Michael Jordan will be catching a nuke. And it's the same for any of your other favorite characters in this society. All right. Verse 3. Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. All right, so you wicked motherfuckers will not escape. You can escape man's judgment all you want, but everybody has to face Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and once this society is through and Yahweh Shai cracks the clouds, all you people are going to be on a one-way. You're going to get a quick ticket to go see the Lord. Because soon as Yahweh Shai comes back and destroys all this shit, y'all are going to receive y'all judgment, man. All right? So, you can play games all you want. You can think that the way you got shit set up is too good to be true. Because that's what it is. It's too good to be true because it's not true. All right, you may escape man's law, like I said, but you'll never be able to escape the Lord. The Lord is not letting anybody off the hook. All right. All people who are wicked are going to pay the price and receive judgment. And all people who are righteous, if you're an Israelite, which is the only way you can be righteous, all these heathens are wicked. All these Edomites are wicked. All right. But if you are an Israelite and of the elect, and the Lord counts you as righteous to receive salvation, then guess what? You're going to receive salvation, and that will be your reward. All right, but all these people that are not counted right, all you 2/3 that are not counted righteous, all you heathens, all you Edomites, you're going to receive death, and it's going to be death by pain. All right, and those who don't die are going into captivity. You 2/3, if you don't die, you're going to just get put to death if you don't die in the nukes. All right. But this is John 14:11 and 15. It says, believe me that I am in the Father and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. All right, so we're supposed to, believe in Yahweh Shai. A lot of these people talk about Yahweh Shai is not to be worshipped. Yahweh Shai is not to be reverenced. They're lying. The Lord is going to kill them for that. All right. Yahweh Shai is the only reason that we are going to the only reason that we have an opportunity to receive salvation. All right. Yahweh Shai, bought the elect with a price. Okay. We belong to him now. He's the one that's coming back to give us salvation under the Lord's command, under Yahweh's command. But Yahweh Shai is going to be the one that returns here to destroy this place and beam us up. All right. This is verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. All right, so Yahweh Shai is telling us, if we believe in him, if we do the things that are required of us and have true belief, that we'll be like him. We'll be able to do miracles when the Lord gives out that spiritual power. We're already doing miracles now. Just the fact that we know this truth is a miracle. The fact that we can go out on the highways and byways and teach, and these devils can't do nothing to us unless the Lord allows them to, is a miracle. The fact that Jakes and the elect or the fact that these Jakes that are a part of the hopeful elect, myself included, have woken up to this truth is a miracle. Being able to understand the scriptures is a miracle and a blessing. All right, that's spiritual power already. Being able to call on the name of the Lord is spiritual power already. All right, but it's going to get even greater, the more and more closer we get to receiving salvation. And ultimately, Lord willing, we be at that number. The elect is going to receive new bodies and have spiritual power, man. All right, and certain brothers are going to receive that blessing on this side as well. All right, this is verse 13. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. Being able to pray to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai in the true name. Ask the Lord for this or for that. You know, ask the Lord for mercy. Ask the Lord to heal you. Brothers, there's brothers that have gotten healed, man, with that have had serious sicknesses. And the Lord healed them, man. Brothers laid their hands on them and prayed to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and brothers was healed, man. That's real. All right. When we dealing with things in our everyday walk and we pray to the Lord, you know, to give us a break or to bless us with this or bless us with that or whatever it is that you pray for. That's spiritual power. The Lord, to be able to pray to the Lord in the true name and ask for this or for that is a spiritual gift, man. That's power that these people don't have. They don't have the name of the Lord, man. All right, verse 14. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments. All right, so we read earlier in the Nahum 1 and 2 that the Lord has reserved wrath for his enemies. All right. So this is telling you, this John 14:11 through 15 is telling you what somebody who loves the Lord would do, which is what? If ye love me, keep my commandments. So that means that if somebody that loves the Lord is keeping the commandments, what's the opposite of love? Hate. Someone who hates the Lord is not keeping the commandments. And we understand that we can't keep all of them perfectly in this world, in this flesh, in this wicked society. We understand that, but we are striving to the best of our ability in truth and sincerity. All these 2/3 and a lot of these other camps that boast in keeping the law are not really sincere about what they're doing. These 2/3 don't give a fuck. Forget about them. They don't care. They're going to be wicked. They're not going to uphold nothing. They're not even going to try, because all we're doing is rehearsing the righteous acts and trying. It's not possible to 100% keep the law in this society and in this flesh. But there are things we can do, and we can try our best to do our best. All right, and it's really about the spirit that you have while you're doing it. Do you have a contrite spirit? Do you have a spirit that is sincere? Or are you just a nigger about it? You know, but that's between you and the Lord. But the point is that those who don't love the Lord are his enemies, and those people who are the Lord's enemies are not going to escape their judgment. It don't matter what position they hold in this society. It don't matter how old you are, how young you are. It don't matter if you're a man. It don't matter if you're a woman. The Lord is coming back to judge the wicked and to give salvation to the righteous. That's the only two categories. All right. So either you're going to receive salvation or you're going to get destroyed / put in captivity. For you heathens. All right. For you 2/3, you're just going to get destroyed and be born back into the kingdom as children. Okay, but with that being said, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and the few Akwat who may be listening. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Until next time, Kwame Yasharala Wa Baba Ball.